What's up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. The anime tower defense scene on Roblox has been very dry recently. There's been nothing to really upload on other than like ALS, which I don't really make content for that obviously, so you guys are not going to see that unless you want me to do it in the future as well. But today's topic is actually about anime vanguards. So anime vanguards, as you may have noticed, its player count has been drastically falling. And obviously, that's natural. They haven't updated in a while, and their last update wasn't very crazy. It was just kind of like a smaller, chiller update. So a lot of people just haven't really been playing the game or haven't felt the need to play the game, which is honestly completely fair. Anime Vanguards is obviously super successful, and I don't think it's gonna die within an update or two or anything like that, but I do see one giant glaring problem that they're really struggling with right now. And that giant problem that they're struggling with happens to be their update schedule. At first, when I thought about making this video, I thought maybe this was just a problem that I had with them. Maybe this wasn't an actual problem the game had. But then I asked around a couple of people, and I actually happened to see that a lot of people feel the same way. I think easily Anime Vanguard's biggest problem they currently have right now is 100% their update schedule. You could nitpick and say, oh, well, they do this really bad, but here's the thing. When a game has a consistent update schedule, let's just take Prime Anime Adventures, for example. Their update schedule was 2 to 3 weeks, and sometimes they would push it to a month, but the game had enough content for you to grind up until that month. Obviously, no one's happy waiting for a month for an update. Anime Vanguards basically updates, I would say, every month, once every month. And if we go back and look through the updates that they've had, we can confirm this. So let's look at the last update, the Eminence of Shadow, the Sid update. It came out on May 5th, which is almost 1 month ago. It's like 3 weeks ago. But I'm just gonna guess now that this new update's not gonna come out to the weekend, which would make it almost an entire month without an update. The update before that was actually the Dragon Ball Z update with Vegito, Boo, Gohan, all that stuff. And update 5.0 was actually on the 13th of April. So again, that's 3 weeks to a month time period. And if we were to go even farther back to update 4.5, that update happened to come out on March 16th. So they generally are running like a 3 to 4 week to sometimes a month update schedule, which is genuinely a really big problem for a lot of people, including myself. Obviously, no one wants to wait that long for an update, and the problem with Anime Vanguards and with this horrible update schedule is two things that really like shoots in the foot is they fall behind schedule updating this slow. If you don't know what I mean by that, I mean it's about to be summer, right? It's turning June in a couple of days here as of recording this, and there's a really large chance that we just might not get a summer event. They said they planned a spring event, and we never got that, and that's one of the kickbacks of having a really horrible update schedule is some things you plan just can't come out because they can't fit into the schedule. Now, obviously, this game is very high quality, and there's a lot of work put into it, so that is a giant reason there is a horrible update schedule. But that's not a good thing because it does not keep player retention. Like I said, this isn't a problem right now, but it's going to become a problem like Anime Adventures, for example, where each update, people's interest is just going to start falling and falling and falling and getting worse and worse because people are going to know, oh, I don't like this update, or this update didn't have enough content. I'm going to have to wait another month for the next one. And that brings me into my second point is they do not make enough content to wait this long. I think it's a very good thing they're making PvP because they're giving you something to do while you wait for this month-long wait for every update, but they do not make enough content per update for them to take a month-long break. Between the big updates like 6.0, 7.0, 8.0, I feel like they make enough content there to where they maybe could wait a month, but with an update like 5.5, 4.5, 3.5, they do not make enough content to have a month-long wait, and that is something that really hurts the game and really hurts them, obviously. And that brings me to my next point, which is, will they ever fix this horrible update schedule? Now, if you guys don't queue into their Q&As at all, They actually recently had one where they addressed some of these things and said that they're horribly behind schedule. Also, ignore my voice cracks if they're happening. I'm not feeling very great today, so they're just kind of slipping out, and I'm probably just going to keep them in, so ignore that. But in the Q&A, they said they're horribly behind schedule. They said they might have a spring event in June and that they're working on it. So the good news is that if there is a fix, they're at least looking into it, and they're at least acknowledging that it's a problem, because it would be horrible if they were doing an AA situation where they just went radio silent and ignored this, which is the thing that's killing their game. I'm very happy they're addressing it. It's a very smart thing to do, and it makes it feel like the players, like you and me, it makes you feel like you're involved. It makes you feel like you complaining or your suggestions contribute to the game, which is great. My next and final point though is, what will this do for the future of anime Vanguards? So I feel like there's two routes that they could take here, two different timelines, if you will, and there's the one where they do not fix the schedule, and then there's the one where they do fix the schedule. So let's start with the one where they don't fix the schedule. If they choose not to fix the schedule, that could seriously harm the game or may even kill it, because here's the bad thing with having month-long waits for updates, is if you make a bad one, or you make one that people are uninterested in, whatever the point may be, you're going to lose people's trust, and they're just gonna not play the game. They're gonna feel like, oh, well, these new updates have been horrible, I don't wanna even try the next one. Which, I know I keep comparing it to anime adventures, but it is clearly the same situation that happened with them. Obviously, as well, this problem isn't as easy as, oh, well, just fix it, or just release stuff faster. There's a lot of inner workings that go into this. They have a very tight-knit development team from what it looks like, and I completely understand that. I completely understand why updates take a month long. I just think it is going to become a problem, and is already starting to be a problem for the game's future and development. And that brings us to our second timeline, where they do fix it. I think anime Vanguards, if they do fix this horrible update schedule, I think they will be completely set for the future. I think the road is so clearly laid out for them if they can fix this update schedule and drop it down to 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 4. I think even if they make a bad update, quote unquote, or just a mid update, whatever it may be, people will forgive them, because then they'll know the next update will be in 2 to 3 weeks, and they have something to look forward to. That is something that Anime Adventures did well, was they had consistency with their update schedule. A perfect example of that is the Bungo Stray Dogs update. I had so many people I heard talking about it where they just did not care about that update. They didn't know what the anime was, blah blah blah, and they just didn't play it. But the nice thing was the update following that came up around 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, so they just came right back for the next update because that one interested them. And that is easily achievable for Anime Vanguards and their development team. And I think the answer is right there to the game's infinite success, unless it gets taken down or something like that. But yeah, that basically sums up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I haven't really made like a super deep yak video like this in a while. Like always, make sure you guys subscribe. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Perry, man. This guy inspired me to make these types of Roblox videos. And yeah, make sure you guys have a good day. Make sure you're nice to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.